Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Tis the Season past meets present cards coming out today in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. And yes, I know PJ Tucker is the only one of these guys currently playing in the NBA. Aldridge retired, Iggy retired, Haslam retired, and Kemba is playing overseas for AC Milan, I think, or AS Milan, I don't even know. But regardless, I actually like the concept of this promo. I don't mind it. It's guys who have recently retired, guys who are basically part of basketball past, but I've also impacted the present, or are impacting the present, I guess, to a certain extent. I think it's a cool concept. I like this whole concept for this whole event. I just wish the cards weren't as expensive and it wasn't as reliant on lock-ins. That's been the whole issue the whole year, though, to be honest. Unfortunately, that's the biggest issue with this Kobe thing, is that it's just so expensive, especially with MT. But as a whole, the cards are interesting and they look decent. I mean, I'm excited to check them out and see what we're looking at. Before we wrap up the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 16,000 subscriber mark on the channel, uploading every single day. Less than 500 subscribers away, trying to hit that by the end of December, so I'd really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off with Udonis Haslem, who is the worst of today's cards by a good amount. He's 10,000 MT, but for a 6'7" power forward, 6'11" wingspan, so he's undersized. He's not fast, 74 speed and excel. Most importantly, he can't shoot threes. So he's a kind of slow power forward who is undersized and can't shoot the ball at all. Not to mention, he doesn't have clamps, glove, interceptor, challenger, speed booster, any sort of shot creation ability. Really, there's nothing good about this card, to be completely honest. I guess he's an okay dunker, and he's an okay defender, and he's a very good rebounder. Very exciting. This Udonis Haslem card is absolutely terrible. I was actually kind of hoping that he'd be like at least okay-ish, and the reason I thought he might be semi-okay is because of the fact that he actually had a game last year, and he's like retirement towards last season. I think it was his final regular season game or whatever. He scored I don't know, 24 points or something, hit 3 or 4 threes, something like that. I was kind of hoping they'd give him a decent three ball because he was hitting them last year, but they did not. PJ Tucker looks a lot better, though, as a budget card. He's also only 10K, 6'5", 6'9" wingspan, so also undersized at small forward. Also not crazy fast either, 79 speed, 77 excel, 75 driving dunk, 79 ball handle. So you're only going to be able to time burst with a shoe and Coach Mike D'Antoni, because he's the only coach that boosts up ball handle right now. 86 three ball. Defensively, he's very, very good, though. So he's a very capable shooter. He has gold bulldozer, giant slayer scooper, I guess, some shooting badges, gold big driver, physical handles, and then defense across the board, including anchor, brick wall, challenger, clamps, glove, movable enforcer, interceptor, pick dodger, post lockdown, right stick ripper. He is very, very well rounded and versatile on the defensive end of the court with the interior and the perimeter badges. And for 10,000 MT, he's going to be a really good budget wing. The reason I say that is also because his release is very, very good. So for the price, you're getting an elite 3-and-D wing, admittedly a little bit undersized, but a guy with a really good release who's also a very versatile defender. And I mean, 10,000 MT is not a lot to pay for that. This guy, I'm going to be comparing this card probably to Sapphire Shane Battier, Robert Covington, some guys like that. The guys who are really cheap. There really isn't a great tournament battles small forward, I wouldn't say. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith is pretty good, but going to be comparing him to those guys to see if PJ Tucker's the best, like, super cheap small forward in the game, and I think the answer might be yes. Kemba Walker is going to be really good as well. 6 foot, 6'3" wingspan. Offensively, he'll be really good. Defensively, he's not going to be good at all. No interior ability, not much on the perimeter, and also no key defensive badges. I mean, bronze pick dodger is just not going to get the job done. Playmaking badges are great, though. He's not really missing anything important, and then shooting badges are basically better, if not as good. Hoff Agent 3, gold blinder, catch and shoot, deadeye, free points, limitless range. Bronze green machine. Wish that was a little higher. Maybe wish he had open looks, a couple other things like that, I guess, but they don't really matter that much. He is going to be a good layup finisher, I guess, but he's not really going to be that great of a finisher. This card offensively should be fun. I've heard his movement is pretty good. I know LeBron dribble styles will work. Kemba size up is, I think, pretty good. Kemba escape is great. I know it's one of the best escapes in the game. Pro behind the back. I mean, this card should move pretty well. Normaliner as well. His release is generally very good. Offensively, Kemba should be fun and good, but we already have some offensive point guards who are fun and good on the offensive end of the court, guys like Trey and Steph and Kyrie, and at this point, none of those guys are really worth using at any sort of sweaty level. Don't think Kemba will be either, with a complete lack of defense and size. But LaMarcus Aldridge coming in as the honestly second most exciting card to me in today's drop, and that surprises me because when you look at his Ruby, and I was talking about this yesterday, I thought this card was going to suck. Is he elite? I'm not going to sit here and say that, but he has very, very solid finishing badges. Admittedly, his inside scoring is not incredible, although he does have a very good post game. He's got decent, not great speed, and that's not insane either, but 87 interior, 75 lateral quickness isn't too bad, 82 block. He's even got silver anchor and rebound chaser, which is nice. Gold brick wall, pogo stick, post lockdown, workhorse, box out beast, good shooting badges as well. This card reminds me a lot of Jonas Valanciunas. The Diamond Tournament Battles cards, I think they're actually going to be quite similar, both of them. Not super fast, but decent size at the big man spot. Very good on the interior on both ends of the court and able to stretch the floor out a pretty good amount as well. Having a decent speed, similar speed to guys like Joel Embiid and Amethyst Anthony Davis, Jaren Jackson Jr., guys like that. So I think he'll be fast enough to like semi-compete, but I don't expect him to be an elite defensive big. So he may struggle against the Kareems, Hakeems, D-Robs of the world, but I think most bigs in the game struggle against the Hakeems, Kareems, and D-Robs of the world. 84 KMT. I mean, I wish he was a little faster maybe, but I don't think he's going to be a bad card. He's got decent lateral quickness as well. He's a lot better than the Ruby. I'll say that. If you compare these two cards, it is night and day. And that's why I thought this card was going to be so bad. But look how different. I mean, 312, and it's gigantic chunks on the defensive end of the court. Big chunks as a shooter as well. And obviously athletically huge chunks. 31 speed, 20 excel, 17 vertical. Plus 23 three ball, minus 33 shot IQ. That's an extra 33 right there of stats that the Amethyst is getting as well, with those being lower. Same thing with the intangibles. So he's really closer to about 380 plus points higher than the Ruby, which was only 3 overalls lower. So nice to see him get significant stat boosts and become a significantly better card, because it makes him at least more viable. It's like a usable option in today's drop. He may not be super duper elite, but he's definitely a lot better than I thought he was going to be. So that is a plus. Finally, we have Iggy, 6'6" shooting guard, 6'11" wingspan, hot spots from both corners, 9 Hall of Fame badges. 10 Hall of Fame badges. You got posterizer, precision dunker, blow by, challenger, clamps, glove interceptor, off ball, post lockdown, and right stick ripper, which is fire. Gold 94 feet, anchor, ankle braces, fast feet, chase down artist, pick dodger, pogo stick. He's not really missing anything. He doesn't have brick wall or removable enforcer. That's okay though. I do really like the card as a whole still. I will say, no speed booster. That's an important badge. No limitless range. Meh. No agent 3. Meh, I could live without those with shooting guard. I'd like them, but I don't think they're super duper necessary. Finishing wise, he is elite. He's fast. He's a good shooter. He's a great dunker, and he's an absolutely elite defender. The thing about this card is, unless you are locking in for Kobe Bryant, I don't think he's worth the lock-in, because as a total price, you're looking at 84K, 168,000 MT between those two guys, plus 10,000 MT for each of those players. You're looking at just under 190,000 MT to lock in this set for Andre Iguodala, which admittedly is not a ridiculous amount for a 93 overall diamond, who is a very, very good card, but you can't sell them back later. That's the only thing, versus buying a normal diamond for around that same price point, who you can sell back. Iggy is great. There's no doubt about that. But here's the thing. Iggy compared to, let's just say, Ron Artest or Paul George even, I don't think there's that big of a difference. And especially like Ron Artest, here's the thing about Artest. Statistically, I think he's slightly better. Not hugely, and athletically he's not. But outside of the athletic area, I do think he's slightly better. He's a slightly better defender. He's a little bit more athletic. He does not have quite as much speed, or I would say maybe not even quite as much ball handling ability. But I will say the other thing that is really nice about this card that I think makes a little bit of a difference with him is, well, Hoff Anchor is really nice to have. And then playmaking badges, a couple extra shooting badges is nice to have as well. He's got a better release than Iggy does. Iggy's release is fine, but Artest has one of the best releases in the game. And then playmaking wise, the biggest thing I think is the silver speed booster versus no speed booster. That makes a little bit of a difference as a shot creator, getting those good bursts. And outside of that, I think that's about everything. Pretty much everything else is even. I guess Hoff 94 feet as well is really nice to have. They have the exact same defensive badges, except Artest's are just a little bit better. He's got a movable enforcer. He's got Hoff Anchor, Hoff 94 feet. I just think, considering you don't have to lock the card in, so even if you're not going for Kobe, he fits a little better, and he's just a little more complete, both with the badges and having the offensive ability with the speed booster, a little bit better release, that type of stuff. For me personally, I think Artest is just going to be a better card than Iggy, realistically. So if Artest is better and Jimmy's probably better and Jimmy's free, remember Kobe obviously is down the road as well if you're planning on locking him in. If you're locking in Kobe, you're going to lock in Iggy anyway. But a lot of good shooting guards, Brandon Roy still, a bunch of other good options like Nick Young and other guys people are running. Obviously Paul George, like I said. I don't think Andre Iguodala is at all a necessity at the shooting guard position or anything along those lines. I think there are plenty of options that you can run that do not require you to lock in for this Andre Iguodala card. So for my personal opinion, at least, I don't think he is going to be worth the lock in, and I don't think I would recommend locking the card in unless you are going for Kobe. But with that being said, obviously we'll do gameplay with pretty much all these cards today, and we will see what we think of each one. So that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.